All right, guys, welcome back. Going live. We got the UFC Vegas 56 picks, predictions, who I'm buying, who I'm not buying at the time. First, let's say thank you to our sponsor, Tampa Bless, Home Team Do Good, TampaBless.com for more information. Check it out. All right, let's get right into it. Nose pick. We got the heavyweights going at it. We got Alexander Volkov. He's still ranked number 7. He's 34-10. He's only 33 years old, and he's a minus 155 favorite. He's coming off that loss to Aspinall, which was just impressive on Tom's part. But he's going up against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, ranked number 8, right below him, 12-3, 34 years old, plus 140 underdog. This is has a reminiscent feel to me. Tom, how do you see this one playing out, though?
Well, I think it's a good matchup for both these guys because I think it plays to their favor, which is standing. Volkov's kryptonite seems to be anybody that has strong wrestling and takedown. Rozenstruik doesn't really have that. I'd be surprised to see that. He's much more of a counter striker, which can make him a little bit boring. Volkov here, he could use a win. That was a terribly sad, quick loss to Aspinall. I mean, I did not see that coming. You know, I think if Volkov keeps his distance, uses his length, strikes, keeps that, you just use your length and don't get in range to get clipped by a Rozenstruik. I think he should be able to come away with a decision here. I don't see him finishing Rozenstruik. I mean, Rozenstruik's a tough finish. But I got to go with Volkov here, man. I'm hoping he comes back and wins a decision by pretty much the game plan that I just said. If he wants to get into to really start swinging for the fences with Rozenstruik, he could get slept.
Yeah, I don't like him to swing to the fences. I pretty much feel the same way. I like Volkov to win this fight. I'm not saying it's an easy fight because it's not. But he's really learned how to use his range. He's really learned how to use his movement. And he's got a lot of size. He's been putting on size. I just expect this to play out basically like the Derek Lewis fight, except he's learned his lesson and not try to go for the finish at the end of the 5th round and get clipped. Rozenstruik to me has the same power Derek Lewis and Francis has. He just doesn't know how to really use it. He's just such a counter puncher. He doesn't go forward, and he winds up taking these losses. The dude is talented. The dude is powerful.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, let's also say he's got 0 takedowns in the UFC, so straight counterpuncher. And Volkov is the master now of using that distance, that jab, those kicks. He's got it. I think size, distance, just all that range is just going to be too much. I agree. 5 rounds, potentially a boring fight. And decision by Volkov, as long as he's learned his lesson. Listen, I am hoping that Rozenstruik has learned his lesson and goes out there and swings for the fences.
Yeah, he needs to get aggressive.
He
was a little bit more last fight. He was a little bit more aggressive last fight. You did see some of it starting to come.
He just clips guys, and they are done. Just a little... I mean, he was...
Oh, Augusta Sakai was a perfect example.
Just a little tap, and these guys are slapped. The guy has the same power as all these guys. He's not quite as big or as well-rounded to me as Francis is right now, but he's got power just like that. He wants to counterpunch, and that's not the way to beat a lot of these guys in the heavyweight division. It's who hits first is getting that win. There's such power up there. It's not the same ball game. All right, but... we're both in agreement. We both see it playing out pretty similar here. Volkov, 33, still young. Printed in 2018. He just seems to fall short, though, when he's going up against the top 5 guys. That's the issue right now. I like him. He's a little too quiet. He really needs to start beating the creme de la creme, and then I could put a buy on him. I got to put a hold on him right now until he can knock off one of these top 5 guys. What Aspinall did to him... I mean, listen, Aspinall's talented, but it's kind of set Volkov back a little bit. That should have been one that you got to make it out of the first round, per se. You know what I mean? It set him back a little. So I got to put a hold on him. I can't put that buy rating on him. Biggie Boy, printed in 2020. One of the worst years. I haven't talked about it, but that's one of the worst years ever to be printed. There was no museum collection. Yeah, Topps like shut it down, knowing they were losing the license. They didn't print Chrome. They didn't print the museum.
Bad move all the way around by Topps.
Yeah, it was, because they could have cleaned up so much money. Panini's doing it now with football and basketball. They're just saturating it. Topps did the opposite, and they should have been getting all those guys, rookies and everything like that. But whatever. So he was printed in 2020. Knockout. I mean, not super desirable, not crazy. But honestly, Rosenstruck he's a boring fighter. He doesn't sell well. Seems like a nice guy. He's not in the news. He's not in the limelight. And listen, I think he has everything basically to be a champ, except for aggressiveness. He's missing the most important factor for his style. So I got to sell on Rosenstruck until he learns to really put it all out there or learns how to wrestle, one or the other. All right, but let's move right on, because this is going to be a fight right here. We got Dan 50K Ige plus 290 underdog. Ige plus 290. Think about that. This kid is talented. He's 15-5. He's 30 years old. He's on that 2-fight losing streak, but it was Josh Emmett and Chan Sung Jung, and he's never been finished. Only decision losses here. He's going up against Mozart Ivalov, minus 380 favorite, 15-0, 28 years old, and he last beat Dawoodu in that decision and Nick Lentz. I believe all three judges had that scorecard as 29-27. So it's not like Dawoodu didn't come on strong in that third round. Don't sleep on that. Came on very strong. Mozart doesn't get the finish in every fight here. All right, but Tom, how do you see this one playing out here? We got I think this is the second biggest favorite on the card here over Dan Ige, who's, I think, very high level.
Yeah, Dan's definitely high level. I don't really think that's a question. I think this is a great matchup. I don't necessarily agree with that big of a gap in the, gambling line there, the betting line, but it is what it is. Dan's going to go out there. Dan has definitely fought stronger competition in his career than Ivalov. That said, I think I wouldn't be stunned if we see like a split decision type scenario here. I think it could be that close. But I'm going to go with Ivalov here by decision.
All right. Ivalov by decision. You think he's going to use his wrestling skills and get him down? Yeah, I'm taking the underdog here. I know a lot of guys are on the Ivalon wagon here. He's got very strong wrestling. He's got that background, that Sambo background, like a lot of these guys coming over from Russia and Dagestan and Kyrgyzstan and everything they do. But let's not sleep on how good Dan Ige is. Never finished. Going up against guys like Josh Emmett, who can put anyone out. So super chin, super durable. Great BJJ. This guy's a black belt in BJJ. Guy has slick, fast striking. It's not like he's a sleeper in striking either. Guy is great striking. He's just super well-rounded. He's got a crazy work ethic. I don't think Ivalov has fought anyone even close to this caliber. I don't think you go out and crown this guy just yet. I also think Ige knows he needs to win here. He's on that little bit of a skid. You got to go out there and get this win. You don't want to be on the verge of being cut, even though you're fighting the top guys. I think Ige's got the cardio and the defense to deal with Ivalov early on and often enough. And I'm actually thinking Ige's going to finish this dude. Dawoodu had this dude on the ropes in the third round. You go back and watch it. He was dominated for 2, but his defense was strong. And then he started to come on. And I think Ige is a lot better than Hakeem Dawoodu. I think he's got a lot better hands and everything. Dawoodu's good. I'm not taking away from him. And I'm also not taking away from how talented Mozart is. I mean, at minus 380, he's talented. The guy's got him down. But
what round you got to finish out?
Third round, Ige is gonna get the finish here. I'm taking the big upset. I just think guys are sleeping on how good Dan Ige is. You don't go out there and just.
I'm definitely not sleeping on him. I think he's nasty, but I'm going with Ivalov by decision here. I could see a split, man. Like I said,
everybody's going with a minus 380 is a massive number. I checked these lines today, Friday, on DraftKings. So these lines have already moved through the week. This is not a come out line where it's going to fluctuate so much. This has already fluctuated a lot. So, yeah. I like Ige. He's printed in 2021 Prism. I just wonder if he can. It sounds a little crazy, but I want to know if he can get down to bantamweight. He's not like a small dude at featherweight, but he's smaller than a lot of the other featherweights. So can he get down and be the big bully in a bantamweight division? I know it probably might be too tough for him because it's not like he's coming in overweight or anything like that, but I feel like he's just a smaller featherweight, and he could be a huge bantamweight and a huge problem at bantamweight. I think he's young. I think he trains hard. I think he has explosive fights. I got to put that speculation by on Ige at 30 years old. He's still got a lot of fights left in the tank here, and if he goes out there and does what I think he's going to do and get the big upset, the hype train's back on for the guy. Mozart printed in 2022. So we just seen him right now. He's undefeated. We know that with a win here, I think you sell the hype train. Sometimes you got to take the profits while they're there. I think he's talented, but we all know the hype wears off. Hamzat, most hype guy the UFC's probably seen, and his cards have, probably lost about 50% just because he didn't get a complete domination fight. Even though he got the win, he's still undefeated. He still beats the number like 3 or 4 guy in the world, and he loses because he didn't go out and finish him. I think the same thing here with Evilov. Just be careful. You could always rebuy him later. We know how when guys don't fight, they tend to fade a little bit over time. All right, let's get right on with this one. We got a tricky one here. We're going back to the featherweights. Michael Trezano, minus 225 favorite. He's 9-2. He's 30 years old, and he last lost to Hakeem Dawodu. He's going up against Lucas Almeida, plus 185 dog. He's 31, 13-1, and he last beat Italio Trinidade. Tom.
But that wasn't in the UFC.
Yeah, but that's his last victory. This is a super close fight here. I see a lot of guys actually going with the upset here in Almeida. I check all the sites and everything like that. But what do you see happening?
Well, this is Almeida's UFC debut, as far as I know. I got to go with Mike here. I'm going with Trezano by decision. But I'd really like to see, instead of Trezano working for, putting in that work and maybe not really going for the sub, I'd like to see him go for it and finish this one by some type of choke.
Well,
that's what. But I'm leaning towards the decision. But what I would really like to see is him work towards a sub, some type of choke.
I think he could do it. I think here, if you go back and you look at Almeida, does he have enough to finish Trezano early? Because that could be where he loses it. We know that he's got no decisions, mostly first-round finishes, and I think Trezano is well-rounded enough to hang in all the positions. He's not per se the best grappler. He's not per se the best on his feet. But I think he can go out there, and if you look at Almeida's only loss, dude just put a pace on him. And I think Trezano can take that blueprint and duplicate it. So just tire out his prey. I think the lone wolf can come through here and get the decision win. This guy Almeida, he's fast. He starts fast. He finishes fast. And I think Trezano is definitely one of the top guys he's ever fought. And this is going to be a real battle. I think Trezano just needs to do enough to hang in, and then he can get this fight where he wants it to be. First round, though, I expect Trezano to lose. Now, both men underprinted, but listen, I always put the buy rating on the mullet men. So I got to put a little buy rating on my man Trezano there. I like it. Coming in with the mullet.
Is he still rocking the mullet? Because I remember last time you went mullet, it was a real bad weekend for you, man, because everybody actually cut their mullets before the fight, and they didn't have mullet power.
I know.
And they actually
lost. They all lost.
That's when Brendan Allen got whooped up.
They all lost. I'm still rolling Trezano here, the lone wolf. But if he he's got to hang in that first round. He's got to be smart in the first round because that's where he comes to play out, But I'll stick with it. All right, we got a lightweight fight here. This is another tricky one here. We got Joe Selecki, 28 years old, 11-3, minus 165 favorite. and he last lost to Jared Gordon, but he has some good wins. He's got a win over Miller and Austin Hubbard. He's going up against Alex De Silva, 26 years old, 21-3, plus 145 underdog, and his last loss was Brad Riddell. His last fight was a loss to Brad Riddell. That's no shame in that. Brad Riddell is talented, very explosive.
Oh, yeah. He's tough.
Tom, what do you got going for this one? I mean, there's not... It's a tough matchup here, I think, for both guys.
Yeah, and probably most people haven't seen Alex De Silva fight if they're relatively new to the sport because he last fought in September 2020. It's been almost 2 years. I don't know what the heck he's been doing during that time. So that's the big question mark.
Big question.
I mean, he could be making big improvements during that. It's almost 2 years. I mean, the dude could be coming back a complete different beast in a way, big upgrade. Or he could be in for a surprise because Selecki's been staying at it. He's already fought this year. And he's 3-1 in the UFC, and the only loss is a split decision. It wasn't even unanimous. So, he's very close to being 4-0 there. He lost that split. I got to go with Joe. There's too much of a question mark on Alex De Silva, and I think Joe's been proven that he's been able to, at the very minimum, be super competitive.
Right.
I'm going Joe by decision, but, I wouldn't mind seeing, a possible round 2 sub by Joe as well. He's got that in his arsenal.
He certainly does. I'm going to keep it quick, too, since neither men are printed yet. I think Selecki has looked very nervous in his first couple of UFC fights, even though he has some wins. I think now he looks to really have it under control. You can tell in his interviews and everything like that. I think that's going to give him the slight edge here. He just didn't look comfortable out there. Now he's starting to look comfortable. He's been in the cage a bunch of times. He looks good. He's growing. I like him. I agree. I think Selecki gets it done here. I don't love it. De Silva's talented. He's young, 26. We don't know if he just took off for weight training. I mean, the weigh-ins are going to go on here in a minute. So I'd like to see the weigh-ins before I finally pick. But I'm picking Selecki for this one. And we know both men aren't printed, so we'll go over them again on the next fight. Now we got, this fight is another one that's really tough. Bantamweights. Johnny Munoz, plus 120 dog, 29 years old. He's 11-1, and he last beat Jamie Simons. He's going up against Tony Gravely, minus 140, and he is 30 years old, 22-7, and he last beat Simon Oliveira. Tom, I'm going to tell you, I'll go first on this one right here. For me, Munoz is facing a guy who, if he can learn to chain wrestle and use the power, can be a top-tier guy. I think Tony's got the skill set. I think he's got serious power. I think he just needs to improve his game plan and his ring IQ, and he can be a problem for everyone in the division. I like Tony here. I think he gets the finish as long as he doesn't gas. That's been one of his problems, but to me, that's part of the game plan and ring IQ. You're not training enough cardio to go out there and handle these guys. But I really do think Gravely has the goods to climb if, per se, he gets the right coach with them. He just needs a few little things. And Munoz, 11-1, he's no slouch either. But I think Gravely is well underrated for how good he can be here. Tom, what do you see happening?
Tough call here, like you said. They got right now Gravely as the favorite.
Gravely is the favorite, minus 140.
I could see Tony grinding it out, a decision here. But, I'm going the other way. I'm going with the underdog, Johnny Munoz here, by round 3 sub or decision.
No, all right. So, neither guy's printed. I got to tell you, though, if Gravely puts it together, you got to put a buy rating on this guy. This guy is talented. This guy could be a problem. He's just missing a few little tweaks to the game. We've seen he's got knockout power. We know he's an advanced wrestler. I'd like to put a buy rating on him right now. We'll reevaluate him again after this fight. Hopefully he gets it done. Hopefully he beat himself here. All right, Tom, let's move it on. We got Moby One Kenobi saying what's up. What's up, Moby?
Yo, what's up, Moby?
All right, we got flyweights. We got the boss in the house.
Over in D-Town, too. I think D-Town in the house. Dallas. Texas.
We got Jeffrey Molina, minus 180 favorite here. He's 24 years old. He's 10-2. He's on a 9-fight winning streak, last beating Daniel Lacerda. He's going up against Zaglas Zumagulov, plus 155 dog, 33 years old. He's 14-6, and he's won out of his last 4, with his last fight being a loss to Manel Kopp. Tom, what do you got going here? I'm seeing fireworks. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I'm seeing fireworks.
Yo, Jeff Molina's crazy young, too. He's only 24.
24, and he's a problem already.
Right.
I'm loving Molina. Giving it away already.
I got to tell you, I like Molina as well. Zaglas is no joke, though, and just his name, Zaglas Zumagulov, always reminds me of, something out of Mordor on Lord of the Rings. It just has that ring to it. But I got to go with Molina here by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Zumagulov, but, I'm going to go with him by decision here.
You just don't know. Go with Jeff. I really like Jeff. I think he gets it done. I think Zaglas had some bad losses, though, where he just looks a little slow and doesn't get the decision and stuff like that. Some of them, he's a lot better than he looks, is what I'm trying to say out there. But talent level, El Jefe, getting better and better every time we see him, and I expect the same here. I think his speed and his skill set's just too overwhelming. I think Molina takes down the decision. I like it. Molina is new to the ink in 2022. He's clearly a buy. 9-fight win streak at 24 years old, and he's not fighting bums. I think he's got the skills. I think he's got the work ethic. I think this kid can climb to the top. And, the flyweight's a young man's game down there. But he's a very young man, and he's very talented. And I really like him. You got to give this guy the triple buy rating. You got to give it to him. He's that good right now.
Where does he appear? Where does his card appear?
He should be in 2022 Prism, brand new.
Oh,
and then
nice.
We got Zumagulov, not printed yet. We got time on him. We could reevaluate him. Maybe he gets a crazy upset here and just turns the page. You just don't know. But right now, we'll just stay away because he's not printed. All right, and lastly, we got. This is, if you want to talk about a prospect, we're going to go over the women's flyweights. This girl made a big win in her debut here. Erin Blanchfield, minus 475 favorite. Biggest on the card. She's 8-1. She's only 23 years old, and she's the biggest favorite on the card. Her last fight was Miranda Maverick, where she dominated Miranda Maverick every second of that fight. It was actually ridiculous. I couldn't. Most people did not see it coming like that. She looked incredible. Now she's going up against JJ Aldrich, plus 350 underdog. She's 29 years old. She's 11-4, and she last beat Jillian Robertson, who is also very heavy wrestling, jiu-jitsu, ground game kind of person here. Tom, minus 475. Does JJ got the goods to get the upset?
I always think the upset can happen, yes. I think it's always a possibility. It's always on the table. Especially, JJ, she's tough. She's had 10 fights in the UFC. It's not like she's just some newcomer. And she's got some decent wins in there, too. That said, after watching that last fight against Maverick, when I actually picked Maverick...
I thought Maverick was one of my favorites on the card.
That was a wake-up call for me. I'm not betting against Blanchfield. I got her by decision, and I actually think she's got a mean streak for sure. I would not be stunned if she comes out with a possible finish as well.
Right. No, listen.
Because Maverick was in total survival mode.
Maverick is talented. Maverick is very, very talented.
I know, but she grinded out. Maverick showed her toughness. She lost, but she didn't get finished. And I think a lot of people would have thrown in the towel and kind of given something up for JJ to rip off and get the tap. And Maverick didn't do that, but she was in total survival mode, and JJ was working for it. Not JJ, Blanchfield was working for it. Now, Aaron Blanchfield, yeah, I can't bet against her. Like I said, decision, or it wouldn't stun me if she gets a finish.
Yeah.
But like I said, you're up against, JJ Aldrich is 7-3 in the UFC. It's not like some losing record.
No, listen,
7-3.
she's good.
So could the stunner happen? Of course it could.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's 23 years old, super impressive already. One fight in the UFC, but she's also, I believe, the youngest. I don't know if she's the youngest female or youngest person ever to win the Eddie Bravo Invitational in BJJ. I mean, female or not, I think she might be the youngest parent. Yeah. To me, this is a done deal. She's so strong. She's so big for the division. Her BJJ is so good. It's real. I don't really see many paths for JJ unless she can really stop every takedown. I don't see her having enough power to finish Blanchfield is the problem. I mean, she could get some good jabs on her, but is she going to have enough oomph to really sit down Blanchfield and finish her? Because I think that's what it's going to take. Because once Blanchfield gets on top, she's already shown how dominant she is on top at least holding you down and not letting you move, and she's going to steal that round. Unless this is a robbery like Holly Holm holding you against the cage for 10 minutes, and they're going to say, nope, JJ got a good shot in there. She wins.
And I want to clarify something on that Holly Holm fight. A lot of people I see talking, they're like, oh, she's just clinching. Listen, clinching is grappling. That's a form of grappling. She's controlling the grappling.
Of course.
That has to be considered.
10 minutes, 2 full rounds.
Some of these people say.
2 full rounds of control. That's just too much. But I think Aaron's going to get the finish here in the second round. I think JJ has a hard time with her game plans. We actually saw that with Jillian Robertson fight. She's just... I mean, she's talented. She's good, but Blanchfield is just... If Blanchfield looks the same as she came out in her debut... And I believe Miranda Maverick's probably a harder opponent than JJ is. I just can't see her not getting the finish here. She's going to go for some kind of rear naked choke or something. You're not going to be able to stop her. She's like a freight train. I really think Aaron's. I really do. I think Aaron's not even printed, but she's got to be one of those special ones where you got to put the buy rating on her right now. You're going to have to chase. She's got the real ability to potentially challenge for a belt in the future. I'm not saying today, but in her size, her ability, if she gets a few more,
and she's got that
she's good. She's good.
Got like that aggression too, which is nice.
And she had the gas tank. She had the gas tank. She did not fade out. She has the gas tank. Does she go and beat Valentina today? No, I don't think so. But
I wouldn't bet on it.
No, I don't think anyone would. But in a few more years, you just don't know. And just the camp was ready to put her against Norma Dumont up a weight class, which just tells you how much confidence they have in her and having her skill set. Because Norma is a big, good girl. Like, she's talented.
Yeah, Norma was the letdown the other week. Everyone's car got busted on that because Norma started too late.
Started way too late. She could have finished that fight, too. Horrible.
Way too late.
Horrible.
Yep, started way too late and let everybody down. That was
kind of
like
how I feel Rosenstruck's going to be.
Right. But, listen, even if you figure Blanchfield, say if she didn't move up and contend for the belt and get herself a championship for 5 years, she'd still only be 28.
I hope they do that with her.
Valentina could have easily retired.
I hope they do that with Blanchfield. There's not enough competition for Valentina. I hope they don't rush her up to where she gets that loss, and then some of them are not the same after that kind of dump there. And Valentina's that talented. I want to take your time with her, groom her, let her grow and get better because she's excited. She's one of the top female prospects. Her, and I'm very excited that they've already I believe they already booked. I just saw it, Mannion Furette versus Chukagian. I want to see what Furette's about because that's going to be a great fight.
What's her name's no joke. They just might be throwing her into the bin too quick. It's Talia Santos.
No, she's powerful.
Man.
She's powerful.
Tough. She's tough. Very tough. I wanted to touch before we jump off. I wanted to touch about the bonus on Win My Cards. We had kind of alluded in the comments during Tampa Bless when I had the last 2 Sundays, we did the blaster breaks. They're sponsored by me, Tampa Bless, and Marky broke them on the show, and we're going to do it again this Sunday and the Sunday after that, maybe even the one after that as well. But I wanted to offer something as a bonus. Like Mark's going to offer the cards, sponsored by Tampa Bless as well this week. But in addition to that, whoever wins, it's only going to be one person offered the bonus. So if there's more than one winner, we'll just throw it in a randomizer, and whoever gets it will be offered the bonus. I mean, up to 4 people could win Mark's regular Win My Cards. It hasn't happened yet that many in 1 week, but we're offering Crunch Time right here. All right, all this little stack of Crunch Time as a bonus. All right, all the ones that came from my set that were broken, plus Mark threw in some extras as well on his own, which was mad cool. And that's going to be offered. I don't know how many are there, but Mark will show it off during the Win My Cards segment. The next week, I'm looking to do, as a bonus, the Marvel cards. I don't know what the official name on that is. I just call them the Marvel. But whatever I got from my breaks on that, and I don't know if Mark's going to toss in a couple on that or whatever, we'll see. But that's what we're going to do on that as well. So looking forward to that. Excited, and I'm really hoping somebody gets it and gets the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm checking out some of you guys in the live chat down here, and yeah, Volkov's, he's gonna pick him apart. Rosenstruck, he's just he's not aggressive enough. He needs some more aggression. That's what we went over before. Totally agree with you guys, and yeah, Tom Aspinall is booked for his fight in London over there again. So can't wait for both of those things, guys. All right, but I think that's going to be it for today, guys. I'm going to try to get up there. We'll get you guys some prizes on Win My Cards. You already saw the bonus if you can beat me. And, yeah, we look forward to getting back on the stream. You can see my guy back here. I've been babysitting. I've been swamped. This guy he's a piece of work. But we'll be back, and I'll be pumping out some more videos regularly. And I'll catch you guys.